Okay, so we already have around more than 150 students join these sessions. All right, probably we will start for a few more minutes, Prof. Gupta.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah, since now in our countries, it's about, yeah, 3:26 p.m. We still have a few more minutes in 3:30 as the schedule. Oke, Bapak Ibu bisa turn on kamera ya yang sudah join. Terima kasih. Oh, oke. Yeah, sure. If you don't have another class, yeah, you're welcome to turn on your video camera. Okay, we will start in few minutes. Yeah. All right, I think we can start the session now. So since we already have enough of the students number in from the marketing management class, I believe. Okay. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good afternoon.
Waalaikumsalam
Thank you
warahmatullahi
so
wabarakatuh.
much.
Salam.
Yeah, so welcome
Waalaikumsalam.
to the second session of this guest lecture of marketing management class. So probably some of you haven't know me. My name is Rian Hendrifatin. I'm also the lecturer for this marketing management class, and I will be the moderator for these sessions. So we also have our distinguished speaker, Professor Ruchi Gupta here. Good afternoon, Professor Ruchi Gupta. It's very nice to see
Thank
you
you.
again. And we also have our Dean, Professor Nyaman Pujawan, also join this session this evening. Good afternoon, Professor Pujawan. Thank you so much for coming here. And also, yeah, basically, it will be the same with the previous first sessions with Dr. Yusa, yeah, in last week's. So you will be given about 60 minutes to share your slides, and then we will continue with the discussion sessions and Q&A sessions with the students. And for the students, please turn on your video camera. And also, since we don't share the materials, the guest lecture materials, so please just take a note for the materials by yourself, and then we will also provide the recording for these sessions. Okay, so without further ado, let's start the sessions by inviting Professor Gupta. So, Professor Gupta, the time is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rene. And I met the class, most of the students last time also, and we talked about digital marketing and the various strategies of digital marketing. So today we are going to talk about influencer marketing as a very important digital marketing strategy. We have talked about a lot of digital marketing strategies, including, how I'm just sharing my presentation also. So we talked about a lot of digital technology also, how these are being used in designing the, uh, I think this is not visible. Just 1 minute, please. Is this visible? Is the slideshow visible now?
Yes.
Visible. Yes, it's a visible.
Okay, thank you so much. So we have talked about a lot of digital strategies in our last class, and today we will be talking about influencer marketing and its changing landscape. So what is the strategy of influencer marketing? It's a very important strategy in terms of digital marketing these days. So we will see what exactly we need to understand in order to implement this technology, this strategy in our marketing as a part of our digital marketing strategy. And we will also see how this entire landscape of influencer marketing is changing, especially with the coming of the virtual influencers, and also because of the generative AI, which is able to produce virtual influencers. So what is going to be the impact of all these things? So first of all, we start with the basics. And okay, so earlier we used to have these traditional celebrities or mainstream celebrities, and people used to be following them. And there were a lot of followers for the mainstream celebrities from movies and sports arena. These days, what is possible, and with the coming of social media platform, now it has become possible for anyone to become a celebrity on a social media platform. So what do? People start posting certain content about which they are excited or where they specialize in. For example, if I talk about a fashion influencer, somebody starts putting pictures and content about fashion or beauty. It could be health related. It could be, some sports related. So I start posting some content on social media, and I start gaining visibility on social media. And with a period of time, my followers start increasing on social media. Now, this person who's born on the social media, is generally called as a social media influencers. But the term influencers is a much wider term. So we will talk about what this influencer marketing encompasses, because even the traditional celebrities are influencers. But when we talk about people who are born on the social media, these are social media influencers. There is another term for it. We will not confuse it with the other term, but they're also called as micro celebrities. You might come across these terms in different, blogs and posts and books, but this means the same thing. So who can become a social media influencer? Anybody. So if I start posting content, people like that content, they start following me. With a period of time, the number of followers increase. So I can become a social media influencer. And if I start getting more people getting to see my post, people who are following me, who are listening to me, at some point of time, the brands also start coming to me for endorsing their products. So that's how this concept of social media influencer evolved. Because of the social media platforms being available to everyone now, anybody can post the content, anybody can become a social media influencer. Now, what exactly is the definition of a social media influencer? People who have established credibility with large social media audiences because of their knowledge and expertise on particular topics. And thereby, they exert a significant influence on their followers and the consumers' decisions. So if I specialize in a particular field, I am specialist in cooking. I start putting, cooking recipes. I start showing to people how this particular recipe is to be cooked. I can become a social media influencer in that particular category. if I am a specialist, say, or I'm a health fitness person who wants to talk about gymming or exercises or protein shakes, I start becoming a specialist in that area, and brands start looking at me, as a specialist in that area, and people are also listening to me. People who want to lose weight or want to stay fit, they're also listening to me on social media. Similarly, if I am a fashionista, I start talking about the different dresses which are available on different platforms, how to, club a dress with an earring, with a handbag. So I post that kind of a content. A food blogger would put content about food, would travel to different restaurants and start putting the content about what food or what recipes or is good.
I think Prof. Gupta has some issue with her connections.
Period of time.
Oh,
So
okay.
in the beginning, you will be a social media influencer with less number of followers. We will see what are the terms that we give to these followers, and over a period of time, the following will increase very quickly. Then what is the meaning of influencer marketing? So influencer marketing is basically a strategy where you are compensating the social media influencers for posting about your brands or products. And we will see certain examples where the social media influencers are putting brand posts in as their part of the Instagram account and other such things. So now let's start understanding the basics of influencer marketing. First of all, we need to understand what are the various types of influencers. So as I said, now this is not just social media influencers, these are all kinds of influencers. So we have broadly 4 categories of influencers which have been recognized in various literatures and books. So what are these categories and how do we decide the category? We decide the category of a social media influencer on the basis of the number of followers that they have. So the first category is that of mega influencers. Now, who's a mega influencer? A mega influencer is a person who has more than 1 million followers. Okay, can I request everybody to please keep their mics on mute? Yeah. So a mega influencer is an influencer who has more than 1 million followers or more than basically 10 lakh followers. So that's a mega influencer. Now, when we talk about a macro influencer, a person who has more than 100,000 but less than 1 million followers. A micro influencer, a person who has more than 10,000 followers but less than 100,000 followers. And a nano influencer who has less than 10,000 followers. So on the basis of number of followers, we define the category of an influencer. It is very much possible that a nano influencer of today who has less than 10,000 followers can become a micro influencer tomorrow because the number of followers increase, and then can also become a macro influencer because the number of followers would be increasing over a period of time. Okay, now this was about the number of followers, but then when do we actually think of signing a mega influencer or a macro influencer or the other influencer? So let's try and understand the basics of these 4 types of influencers. So as I said, the mega influencer is an influencer who has more than 1 million followers. And typically, who will fall in this category? Typically, you have the celebrities, the traditional celebrities falling in this particular category because there's a huge number of following. Some of the social media influencers have also grown to that level that their following has become so much. But mostly this will be celebrities like Ronaldo. We were talking in our last class about how he is one of the top most social media influencer and has been recognized by most of the reports for the last few years. So he's the topmost. So these are the celebrities, the athletes, the actors, and social media stars who are the mega influencers. Now they have a massive audience, right? So if a brand wants to create a brand awareness, and if they sign a deal with such a mega influencer, then they can get a lot of audience watching this post because there are so many followers of this particular influencer. However, because there are popular people, so they will charge you a lot of money for it, right? There is also another aspect of it, that a mega influencer, because so many people are following them, and for example, Ronaldo. So not, people are not following him only for sports. For example, I also follow Ronaldo, but probably not for sports. I want to see what kind of brand endorsements he is doing because I'm a marketing professor. There are other people who are not probably following him for sport, but for other reasons. So they have a divided audience. So one part of audience is watching him because of sport. The other part of audience is watching him because of the endorsements he's doing. There's yet another part who likes Ronaldo and therefore is following him. So the audience is divided. But if I am following a food blogger, for example, I am following only for the purpose of following what recipes or what tips the food blogger is giving, or similarly in case of a health enthusiast or a fashionista. So their audience is very much focused only on the content related to the expertise of the social media influencer. The second category is that of macro influencer with a following of 100,000 to 1 million followers. Now they consist of mini celebrities. Now they also have a huge following, if you see, but what basically the brands would actually connect them with, for what is the benefit that they are wanting. First is they want to create brand awareness. If they cannot afford to sign a mega influencer, they want to then consider a macro influencer in that case, because mega influencers are very costly to work with. One reason. Second reason is that a macro influencer is able to generate the user generated content. That means they can tell their audiences to participate in a contest and other such things, and therefore some kind of a user generated content, a strategy that we had discussed about last time, that the consumers are creating content for you. So they are able to push the consumers to actually create that content. The last two categories are your micro influencer, first of all. So they have a typically 10,000 to 100,000 people as their followers. This is comparatively cost-wise a strategy that brands can afford to work with, but because they are not very costly. A major advantage of working with a micro celebrity and also a nano influencer is that they engage with their audience. That is the best part about it. So if somebody is commenting on their post, they will like it, they will reply back, or they are doing live sessions with people and they're asking for questions and they're replying back to them. So the followers of such celebrities feel that there is one-to-one interaction which is happening with these micro influencers and also nano influencers. Nano influencers work with a more niche audience and they have less number of followers. So they can actually do engagement with their followers. The same thing the followers are not able to do with big celebrities like Ronaldo or Messi. They are not replying back their followers, right? Or somebody is managing their social media accounts. They don't even know what people are writing on their posts. So now the biggest benefit of working with a micro celebrity and nano influencer is that they are more affordable cost-wise, and also they are able to engage with their audiences, do conversations with them, do live sessions with them, and people feel more connected with such particular influencers. Now we'll also talk about one more thing over a period of time when, especially when you're talking about nano influencers and micro influencers, the cost aspect of it, because a lot of students in my last class wanted to know the price, and because there is a general feeling that sometimes it is very costly to work with any of the digital marketing strategies. And I told you that we'll be talking about 2-3 different variants of doing the cost benefit analysis and the cost aspect of it. So let's understand it for the micro and nano influencer. So sometimes, we will do a cost benefit analysis as a part of, this particular class today, where we will understand how it can be done. But in general, when we do understand till now that a mega influencer is a very costly person whom you have to sign a deal with. It can run into millions of dollars. Most of the companies cannot afford it. So does that mean we cannot afford influencers? I said macro influencers are less costly, but probably I don't even have that much of money with me. So what do? I should consider a micro influencer or a nano influencer. Micro influencer comes at a much lesser cost. So Cost-wise, it is a more cost-effective technique. What about a nano influencer and sometimes even a micro influencer? Now, the biggest benefit is even if you don't have any money, you can work with both these influencers. How? Now, let me say I've opened up a restaurant. I send an invitation to some food blogger who's a nano influencer or a micro influencer and invite them to have a lunch at my restaurant. Okay, I am not paying them anything. I am just serving them food for free. Right? So I am serving them food for free. They are making reels and they're posting it on their Instagram account. A lot of other people are also watching that content and then coming to your restaurant. So basically what you've done is you haven't paid any money to the influencer, but still work with them. Still they have made your reels. You're given free food to them. Similarly, if you have opened up a hotel, you can offer a 2 nights, 3 days free stay to a travel blogger who comes and stays at your hotel, makes reels, captures the main points of your hotel, a newly constructed hotel, puts it on the Instagram account. All the people who are following a travel blogger are people who are interested in travel. They get to see your hotel. So what have you spent? Nothing. You've already made your hotel. You've just given a free stay to this travel blogger. And that's how you can work with it as a very cost-effective strategy. Very quickly, let us look at the 2024 list of the world's top most social media influencers. So as you can see over here on the first position, again, for so many years has been Ronaldo. And you can see Justin Bieber at 5, you can see Messi at 6 and Taylor Swift at 8. You can just have a look at what is their number of their followers at various social media platforms and what category they belong to. Do they belong to a sports category or entertainment or influencers? So you can get to see that. Also, towards the left-hand side, you can see as per May 2024 figures which have been released, how many monthly active users do we have on various platforms? So YouTube is on the top, followed by Instagram, TikTok, and then Twitter, and now called as X. So these are the top most social media influencers. Continuing with the list, this is the list, and I can see Virat Kohli, who's on number 16 from India, and you can find out other names also. And we are going to work with one of the endorsements done by Virat Kohli while we're doing the cost benefit analysis today. So these are some of the top 50 people who have been cited as social media influencers. In fact, top 30, I think, in this list was given in the list released this month only. So this is the latest one. Okay, now let us understand what is the importance of this influencer marketing strategy. So there are so many strategies that we have in digital marketing. We talked about a lot of strategies in our last class. So why is this particular strategy important and why we should actually look at it for while designing a digital marketing strategy? Now, if I have a look at this particular results from research which was done in 2022, let's have a look at certain figures. Have a look at this arrow. So 43% of the people felt that influencers are more authentic as compared to the other celebrities that they are watching on television, doing the advertisements, or even on social media, promoting certain brands. Why? Because if you have a look or if you follow any of the social media influencers, you will see that they talk about the good products also. Sometimes they talk about the shortcomings of the product also. So they are not always only advertising the brands, but they're also talking about what are the pitfalls of a brand or what ideally brands should be doing. And their content seems to be more authentic. Then after this, the engagement rate that I was talking about, because a lot of micro celebrities and nano influencers especially are able to work and are able to engage with their audience. So the engagement level is really high. And whenever you are engaging with people one-on-one, I reply on a social media post and you reply back to me as an influencer, or some of the influencers, some of the followers. I've seen certain posts where the followers are saying that today is my birthday, please wish me happy birthday, and the influencer is actually replying back, happy birthday, you have a great day, and So good to hear from you, and all those things. So there is a one-on-one conversation which is going, and there is an engagement, and which seems to be more authentic. This will never happen in case of a celebrity account. First, because the celebrities don't have so much of time. One. Second, their social media accounts are being handled by their managers, social media managers. They are also not replying back to all the conversations. So if you try opening up an Instagram account of an influencer, of a micro influencer or a nano influencer, vis-a-vis social media account of a topmost celebrity or an athlete, you will see that almost no engagement is happening. In case of a mega influencer, in case of a micro influencer or nano influencer, there is a lot of engagement and conversations which are happening. Another interesting thing is that according to the survey, about half of the UK and US participants, they actually considered purchasing a product after seeing an influencer's post. So that actually means a very big figure. Half of the participants, they said that they would actually consider purchasing a product after the influencer has actually posted about the product, because the influencer is also explaining the product in detail to them, so they get to understand the product better. And how much of action is actually taken? So 50% say they will consider buying, 31% have actually bought. Okay, so which again is a very big number. So, and that explains the importance of the strategy, that people do consider the brand posts that the influencers are making, and they do end up considering a purchase or actually purchasing the product. The engagement level, the authenticity comes as a bonus for the brand. Then in 2023 also, certain research figures have revealed these very promising results for influencer marketing as a digital marketing strategy. So 89% of the marketers, they actually currently engage in influencer marketing, and 92% of the marketers who were surveyed, they actually want to consider or actually believe influencer marketing is a very effective strategy. Please give me 1 minute, please. There seems to be a problem again with the video, Rene.
Yes, sir.
Yes, there was a problem earlier with the starting of the video.
Oh, start the video. Oh,
Should I join again?
sure. Yeah, sure.
Let me join again, okay?
All right, all right. Okay, since Prof. Gupta has an issue with the video in Zoom, so she will rejoin this session. So hold on, everyone. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So Prof. Gupta. Okay, you successfully rejoined this one. I will make you as the assign you as the co-host again.
Okay, so this is what we were talking about. So a lot of projections have shown, a lot of research has shown that influencer marketing is gaining a lot of interest from marketeers and also from millennials. If you have a look at these figures, 50% of millennials actually trust the product recommendations that are made by the influencers, because a lot of millennials are actually following social media influencers. Maybe the elderly population are not following too many influencers, but the millennials are actually doing it. And therefore, if you want to actually get in touch and the base with the younger audience and also the millennials, this is a very, very effective strategy because they do consider influencer posts. And very quickly, if we have a look at the global influencer marketing projections, you can see that it's actually growing at a staggering rate, and it's going to touch, a very high amount as per the predictions which have been made, as per the forecasts which have been made. Also, according to some of the figures which have been released in February 2024, Instagram has the highest engagement rate for nano influencers. As I had explained earlier, that the maximum engagement rate would be is generally happening in case of micro and nano influencers. So these are the figures which have been released, and there are certain other figures which have been released, and in case you want to read the full report, you can actually scan this particular QR code and you will have the entire report in front of you, because it will give you a lot of interesting insights for which have been released in this particular year only. So I'm waiting for a minute for you to scan this QR code, and in the meantime I'm also requesting all the students to keep their mobile phones handy and also to keep a notebook and pen handy with you, because we are also going to do some exercises in the class. So as you can see that, YouTube is the topmost platform, and there are certain hashtags which have been most commonly used. And which are these common hashtags? Beauty, food, travel, fitness. And therefore, these are the topmost influencers, also beauty influencers or fashionistas, food bloggers or food influencers, travel bloggers, fitness bloggers. They are those categories of influencers whom people are following a lot. Okay, so I've given you the link already. You can save it somewhere and you can read the full report. It gives you some very interesting insights. Okay, now coming to a very interesting topic, endorsements by the mainstream celebrities who are your mega influencers. Now, as I told you, that these mega influencers have the highest number of followers, okay, which is more than 1 million. Also, as we had seen, that it is a very, very costly strategy or a very costly affair to work with the mega influencers, because they charge a lot of money. So let us talk about the kind of money that they charge, and whether we can afford that much of money, and whether it makes sense to spend so much of money while signing a deal with a mega influencer like a celebrity like Ronaldo or Messi. Okay, so talking about the mega influencers, that is the mainstream celebrities. Now, the last authentic report that I could find, I'm still finding the report which probably has come out after that. So the last authentic report states that out of the mainstream celebrities, who's the topmost, who is, in terms of the earnings on the social media. So the topmost influencer in terms of earning, as per the reports which came out towards the latter part of 2022. The report came out in 23 for 22. So this particular celebrity, as you can imagine, is Ronaldo. And how much is he charging? How many US dollars? You can see it is close to 24 lakh US dollars, which is close to rupees 19 crores per Instagram post. Now, this is not per a deal. This is for one post that he's putting on Instagram. Can you imagine the huge amount of money that the mega influencers are charging? And our third number was Messi. And how much was he charging? US dollars, close to 18 lakh, which is close to 14 crore rupees in Indian rupees. And that is again for one Instagram post. And because I generally do these exercises in India, I'm also considering one of the Indian celebrities, that is Virat Kohli. I hope all of you know Virat Kohli. He's a famous cricketer in India from the field of sports. So he was at number 8, I think, and he's charging close to rupees 8.9 crore rupees. And obviously, he has a lot of following on Instagram, and Instagram is the main social media platform where he's posting about the brands. And for one post that he's posting, he's getting so much of money. And as you can see in the pics here also, that he's uh, actually doing a lot of brand promotions, and this is something that is costing a lot of money. Now, this strategy of working with the mega influencers is a very, very costly affair. So, as a part of today's class, we are going to do a cost benefit analysis. So what I plan to do is that because Rene has given me about 60 minutes time to complete my slides. So I'll first finish off the slides, and then after that come back to the slide where we will do this cost benefit analysis of working with the mega influencers, especially when a lot of money is involved. How should brands decide? Should I pay, for example, almost 9 crore rupees to Virat Kohli for doing brand promotion and for putting only one Instagram post? So for one Instagram post, does it even make sense to spend so much of money? So we will do this exercise after finishing up all the slides because of the time which has been given to me. I hope in the last 60 minutes, we will definitely do this exercise today because it gives a lot of clarity in terms of how we calculate certain figures. Okay, so we'll do this later, and let's come to this slide first. So now, another question that when we are working with the mainstream celebrities is that should we post this content? Now we have posted, created some content with a mainstream celebrity. Now, if I have to pay so much of money to them for posting content on their social media handles, 9 crore rupees to Virat Kohli for posting a post on his Instagram account. Similarly, with other celebrities, also the amount is too high. So does it not make sense that I shoot some content with them, create a content, and then post that content on my company page or my brand page? That is also an option, right? So instead of telling the celebrity that you post the brand content on your Instagram account or on other social media platforms, I decide that I will create a content with a celebrity and I will post this content on the brand page. But what happens? Have a look. If you have a look at the right-hand figure first, now this is the company page of Beat India, right? And there's a celebrity, Indian celebrity who's endorsing this brand. Now, when you put the brand post featuring the celebrity for, on the brand page, have a look at the number of likes, 515, 515 likes when you're posting on the company page. Now have a look at the left-hand side figure. Now this is the account, Sara Ali Khan is the account of a celebrity. She's also endorsing the same brand and you've created a post with her and you have paid her some money to post this on her Instagram account. Now, because the celebrities are popular, there are many people who are following the celebrity account rather than your company account. So how many likes and views have you achieved on the celebrity's Instagram account? This is 23.5 lakh views that you have generated. If you have a look at the arrow, the lower arrow on the left-hand side, 23 lakh views versus only 515 likes on the company brand page, which means that you can post the content on your company page, but it will not be seen by a lot of people as compared to the celebrity posting the content on their social media handles. Okay, now we say that it involves a lot of money. So we will see whether it makes sense to spend that much money or not. Okay, so that will be an exercise that we'll be doing in this class only. Now, another thing is that when you're working with celebrities, as I said, that they have a diverse audience who and their audience is following them for various reasons. We took the
Bentar ya, Pak.
example. Yes, Rene?
Sorry, I think it's come from my students.
So when we talk of Ronaldo, So when you see in the very first post over here, he's endorsing a brand of shoes, because there are many people who are interested in sports who are following Ronaldo. So he's endorsing sports shoes. But he is also endorsing a deodorant or a shampoo, Clear All Clear, right? And he's also endorsing a cell phone. So now the point is that when a celebrity is endorsing brands, the celebrity is endorsing diverse kinds of products. A cell phone also, a deodorant or a shampoo also, a sport shoes also. And it is not about a particular type of content. It is about a diverse brands that the celebrity is endorsing. Though it is creating brand awareness for your product, but people who are following Ronaldo only for the reason of love for sports, what do they do with the mobile phone ad that he's doing? They might see it, brand awareness is created, but they might not end up purchasing it. But on the other hand, when a travel influencer is talking about a particular hotel, showing the various parts of the hotel, this is the selfie point, here is the beach, this is the view from the room, and all the people who are following a travel influencer are interested in travel, so his posts are more popular amongst all the followers. In this case, Ronaldo's mobile phone post might not be so popular with people who are interested in sports. So though mega influencers have a huge amount of following, some of the brand posts might not end up in a purchase, though mega influencers are very effective in creating brand awareness. Because when I see Ronaldo, endorsing a particular product, I see it and I notice it. So brand awareness is created, but I might not buy a mobile phone when Ronaldo says so, but I might want to buy a mobile phone when a technical influencer tells me that these are the advantages of this particular brand of mobile phone. So that's also the difference. Okay, now coming to now social media influencers. We talked about the mega influencers, mostly celebrities, athletes, they have a huge following. Now, what are the various kinds of social media influencers? As I said earlier, one could be a style blogger or a fashionista, and this is how they create their content. They are getting ready, putting on makeup and telling that how to style your hair and how to put on the makeup, and people are following them to learn all those tricks. Again, there could be food bloggers. So food bloggers typically go to different restaurants, they try the food, they talk about the different recipes and different amazing food which are available at different restaurants, and they give their rating to certain food restaurants. So sometimes they would rate a particular dish as excellent, sometimes they will say that this particular dish I ordered, but this was not very good. So they will give you an authentic view of how they feel about food. So it is not like an advertisement where you speak only good things about the product. If there is a particular item on the menu which is not great as it looks or sounds, they will tell you that also. And they will tell you what are the best things to try in a particular restaurant. And because people who are following a food blogger are actually interested in food, they will actually follow him, listen to his recommendations, and then try to choose their restaurants when they want to try out food. Now, what are now the benefits of using influencers, especially when you're talking in terms of, a social media influencer versus a mega celebrity like, traditional celebrity. So mega influencers versus your social media influencers. We have already talked about the cost component. So lesser cost is one major benefit that you get from there. Not just lesser cost, as I told you, that if you are working with a micro celebrity or even a nano influencer, sometimes you would not even spend a money. You might just give them free products. For example, a fashion retailer might send some free dresses to a fashionista, so that the fashionista can try the dresses, make the reels, and talk about the platform from where the followers can buy those dresses from. And you have given free content, free product to them, but it is not a very costly affair, because those products as it is you are producing. Similarly, we talked about a restaurant where you are inviting food influencers for a lunch or dinner. We talked about a hotel industry where you're offering free stay. So it comes at a very less cost as compared to the mega influencers. Then they develop some very interesting content. We saw some of the content right now that how, as a style blogger, you are styling your hair, putting a lip color, telling people how to do the makeup, how to put things together to give a look for a particular event. Similarly, a food blogger is, eating food and talking about how great it is. So their content is very interesting. And because they are using their creativity in their own way, rather than being defined by the brands. So the brands are not telling them that this is how you create the content. They are making their reels and they know how to, or what actually the audience wants to see. And therefore they are making more interesting content for the brand. Next is more engagement with the audience, which I've already explained, that they are engaging with the audience, they are replying to the comments, they are having a very active participation there, and reaching out to the niche audience. Some people who are technical, a very niche audience. I want to know only about protein shakes. Okay, I'm a fitness, a person who's really into fitness, and I want to know only about gymming and protein shakes and what should be my diet. So there could be some niche audience who would probably be looking at a nano influencer who has a very small group of followers, but then he talks about the content that such people are interested in. So instead of following a health influencer who's talking about 10 different types of things in terms of health, you probably want to follow only a particular type of content, and therefore you are following only a nano influencer. Then creating authentic content, because they are also talking about the negative sides of the product or where the product is not very good, and they are helpful in driving traffic to the websites. So if they, when they say that, okay, if you want to buy this product, you can go to this particular website. And we saw as a part of research figures that people are considering buying. 50% of the respondents of US and UK actually considered buying products recommended by influencers. And 31%, I think, yeah, close to 31%, they actually bought the products which they had recommended. So they are actually resulting into sales. So these are the various benefits of influencer marketing strategy. Then there are some other interesting facts. I'll just quickly skip after mentioning just one important thing, that out of all the social media platforms, Instagram, because of the various features that it offers, has actually emerged as a very popular social media platform for the influencers in most of the countries. So overall, when we see, the type of platforms which are being used, there are some very popular platforms like Instagram, there is YouTube, there is TikTok, there is Facebook, and how much popular a platform is in a particular country would be revealed by a website called as Statista. You can actually go to Statista and actually find out that which particular social media platform is more popular in your country and what is the age group of the population who's using this particular platform. So you will be able to decide, okay, we need to consider this particular platform. For example, in your country, it could be TikTok. In some other country, it could be Instagram. In yet another country, it could be Facebook. And then what are the kind of influencers that you need to work with? That is also a very important decision. But also a very important thing, a very important aspect, when especially in terms of content creation by the influencers, is the use of hashtags. Now, all of you, I hope, are aware of what are hashtags. Now, when an influencer is posting some content, does it belong to the category of food or beauty or travel? If there are certain hashtags that you put, it helps Instagram, for example, in classifying your post, whether it belongs to the beauty category or the travel category, and and accordingly your post is shown to people. So there is additional advantage of using hashtags for your post when you're creating content as an influencer. Some of you might want to become influencers in your own respective categories. So when you design content, what do? You are supposed to put certain hashtags. So if I'm an influencer and there are about 10,000 people who are following me, when I put a post, those 10,000 people get to see my post because they're following me. But when I put a hashtag, let me say that I'm a travel influencer and I put a hashtag travel, then all those people who follow the travel hashtags, even though they are not my followers, they will still get to see my post. That is how you can increase the reach of your post. So by using the hashtags. So if I say that I am promoting a particular travel resort in Indonesia, and I put a hashtag of Indonesia travel, hotel, then, all those people who are following those hashtags will get to see my post. And out of all those people, if they find my content interesting, let me say that I get additional 1,000 people who are following me now because of the post that I create. So from 10,000 following, my following grows to 11,000. And over a period of time, this is how you can increase your following. So use of hashtags has been recommended while designing content on any of the social media platforms. As you can see over here, there are certain hashtags which have been used over here also. And the influencer has also tagged the brand which is being endorsed. Now, because we're talking about hashtags, there is an interesting research which has again revealed, certain things. Let's concentrate on this first. So there was a research which said that when you are using more number of hashtags, your visibility of your post to other people increases, and that they also get to see your post. This is what we discussed. So in this particular graph that you can see, when the number of hashtags increased from 0 to 30, the reach of the audience reached increased by 11%. And on the right, extreme right hand side, I've given some working, which means that if there is an account with only 20,000 followers, and if you are able to increase your reach by 11%, that means you have reached additional 2.2 thousand people, 2,200 people additional you have reached if you are using the hashtags. But this was a survey which was based on the fact that if you increase the number of hashtags used from 0 to 30, but then recently, or in fact, last year, Instagram had come out with a recommendation that don't use too many hashtags. If you use 30 hashtags, Instagram will not know whether to put your content in the beauty category or travel category or Indonesia category or hair care product category. So try to limit the use of hashtags to only 5 hashtags. That is what Instagram says, so that the most relevant population or the most relevant audience on the social media gets to see your post. So that's a very important consideration. Use the hashtags, but you have to decide that what are the relevant hashtags for me and which hashtags will make more sense for me. Try to use 5, 6, 7. Okay, they have recommended 5, but you can go up to 5, 6, 7, but don't try to use 30 hashtags. This is what Instagram has suggested. And that's also what you can see in some of the examples over here, that, the brands are tagged and certain hashtags are used. Okay, this just as an example, which, to the point that I just explained. Now, if any of you are actually thinking of designing some influencer marketing content, then this is one particular website where you can get certain tips on creating the content, how to increase the number of followers on Instagram, certain tips on making the reels, and other tips of content creation, basically. So I've given the QR code here. In case anybody is interested, you can scan this code and you can keep this website handy and go through this website later on. Sorry, this is not a website, this is an Instagram page of creators, as you see over here. So this particular QR code will take you to this Instagram page, and you can look at their content and look at the tips that they have given later on. I'm not covering it right now, but this is some additional resource that you can use in order to design your content on social media platform. Okay, now what are the various ways in which your products can be shown by influencers on their social media handles? The first one is product review. You tell the influencers that please review our product. But when you tell the influencers to review your product, you have to tell them about the USP of your product, that what is so special about your product and what they can consider talking about as a part of the content when they design or when they make a reel for your product. Now have a look at this arrow which comes over here. Now this says that now this particular content that the influencer has written along with the social media post says that now this particular tonic, which it's being added to the morning coffee. So these are collagen products and they are unflavored. And they are also sugar free. I think it was written, yeah, so without any added sugar, so they can be added to any of the drinks that you are having, and therefore they are health wise, they are good, and they're also good for increasing your beauty. So that's what has been explained in this particular Instagram post. So for your USP, or for the basic advantage of your product to be covered, you have to tell the influencer what is the USP of your product, and then they can design the reel or the content of their product according to what you have told them, and highlighting the main features of the product. Another type of content which can be designed is in the form of giveaways. Now, what is a giveaway? You give a free gift to people. So you can tell the influencer, announce a contest on social media platform. If you have a look at the extreme right-hand side corner and towards the lower side, they are talking about entry rules to a contest. So you do this thing, make sure you're subscribed to this, you follow us on Instagram, you make this thing, you send it to us, and if you win, then you will get this particular product free. So giveaway basically is announcing a contest on Instagram, telling people to follow the steps to enter into a contest, and they would get some freebie if they win the contest. Another type of post can be blog posts. So you write a blog. So there are certain food bloggers, for example, they write a blog on food and they also have their Instagram page, and both the things are connected. So generally, the link to the website where they write the food blog is also given as a part of the Instagram handle. For example, if you have a look at, okay, so this is a blog which is written about food. So this is, a food blogger's post. So if you have a look at the right-hand side, Abuja food blogger, and food restaurant reviews, and this is the kind of content that they produce. And you can see on the left-hand side picture that there are lots of hashtags that they have used, so that you can classify this product into certain categories. So in this case, it will be mostly food category and food blogger category that this particular post will be classified as. Okay. Similarly, the first picture is for a travel blogger, the second one is for a food blogger, the third one is for a fitness influencer, and this is the kind of content that they are designing. So even by, when you have a look at the pictures, you know what content the person is designing, and you know exactly what category he or she belongs to. Okay, so now how do we decide which influencer to work with? So let's see how we decide on the influencer. First of all, you have to find an influencer who caters to your industry. So hotels need to find out travel bloggers. And I've already said that your hotel can offer a few nights accommodation in exchange for a short video on travel bloggers YouTube channel. And you can tell them what are the main points in your hotels that you want them to cover. Restaurants need to find food bloggers. Okay, so, and I've given you other examples also. So what exactly is the goal when you are trying to finalize, okay, that this person is going to be the influencer that I'm signing? The goal is to find someone who creates content that relates to your product and to your brand. So if I am in a restaurant industry, I could talk, basically I will talk to a food blogger. I could also talk to a fitness person who comes and talks about the protein shakes and the protein-rich diets which are offered in my restaurant. But I will not probably go to a tech influencer because it does not make any sense. So a restaurant person and a tech influencer does not make sense. So obviously there has to be a match of the two things: the influencer, what kind of content the influencer is making, and what brand, what industry are you in. So that's how you create a match and then decide, okay, this is the influencer that I can actually work with. Very quickly, I'm showing that this trend of influencer marketing picked up at the time of COVID, because this was the time people were sitting at home. Influencers were creating a lot of interesting content with the people to entertain them, one, also to educate them about a lot of things, what recipes they can make sitting at home, also what kind of care they should take to keep their homes clean so that they're not affected by the coronavirus, and other such content also was being designed. Just sitting at home, they were making reels, and this influencer marketing actually picked up as a strategy, and brands were signing a lot of influencers at the time of COVID, because that's the only way they could reach out to their consumers. No shooting of other kind could be happening for other kind of content, and influencers were interacting with their followers in a much, much bigger way. Okay, so I've already explained all these points. So you can just have a look very quickly at the things which are highlighted over here. So influencers have an authority in their own area. Beauty influencer has an authority in the beauty and fashion. Food influencer will have an authority in talking about food and other stuff. Then you have a distinct following within a niche audience who's following you for a specific reason, because of travel, because of food, because of beauty, because of fashion. And it is not happening as in case of traditional celebrities where everybody is following them, irrespective of the area in which they work. Then they actively engage with the audience and their content is also more authentic. Another thing is that, which again I've explained, that you have to see whom do you want to reach out to, what is your brand into, and create a match between your brand and the influencer. Restaurant, food blogger, you create a match, and that's how you work with an influencer. Obviously, you have to set a budget. You have to see how much amount is available with you, and you have to enter into a contract with them where certain things are specified, how much amount of money will be given to them, what kind of a contact they need to, or what kind of a content they need to create, and also what kind of an engagement you want them to create with the post. So that's about the basics of influencer marketing. Most of the people would stop at this point because this explains most of the points of the social media influencer. I'll take additional 10 minutes to explain to you now what are the changes which are taking place in the area of influencer marketing before we begin to understand other things. So, how many of you have heard about virtual influencers? If I can know in the chat box, you can put your messages in chat. How many of you are aware of the term virtual influencers?
Probably students can raise their hands.
You can probably write in the chat also very quickly, yes or no. Heard of virtual influencers? What are virtual influencers?
Okay, virtual influencers.
Yes, one person. No, okay. So this is because this is a trend which has started picking up and it is expected to grow. It's really known for virtual influencers. Okay. Okay. So maybe some people, okay, most of the people haven't heard, and that is why it is important to understand that how influencer marketing is changing and moving also in this direction. Now, all of you have heard, okay, how many of you have heard about ChatGPT? ChatGPT?
I think everyone knows.
Yes, everyone knows about ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even
Okay.
use
So,
it.
yeah. So, what is ChatGPT? It is a generative AI, right? And you are generating something after giving the content to a machine which works, or a software which works on the large language model. Do you know that you can also create certain virtual influencers using a generative AI? There are different types of generative AI, and now you can actually create your own influencer who is not a human influencer. It's not a person like me or you. It's something which is created on the computer. Okay, this is also something that generative AI can do. ChatGPT is one example of generative AI, and there are various other things. You can create music by using a software. You can create a virtual person using a software. And this is what exactly is happening now. So the rise of virtual influencers initially was not happening because of generative AI, but okay, let's see what is the meaning of the okay, the virtual influencers. So a virtual influencer basically is a computer generated character who is designed to interact and engage with the audience on social media platforms. And these are like your digital avatars. And they're entirely fictional, and they're created using technology, which includes 3D modeling, animation, artificial intelligence, where I was talking about the generative, AI. So they are they are made using this technology. And the role of a virtual influencer is very much similar to that of a human influencer. Now keep your phones ready. I'll show you one or two virtual influencers also. So they also promote brands. So you don't have to scan this one. This will give you only the content of a virtual influencer. I'll tell you when to scan the QR code because we have limited time. So we will do only limited exercises. So they are also engaging with the customer, and look at this interesting thing that they're also boosting customer loyalty. According to a research, according to Statista, actually, 35% of American consumers purchased a product or a service in 2022 after a virtual influencer advocated for it, which means that you can actually also consider signing a virtual influencer for your brand. And what are the other benefits of signing a virtual influencer? There are economic benefits. If I am a person who has created a virtual influencer, for me, it will take some time to build the follower base for that virtual influencer. But I ultimately own this virtual influencer. Gradually, as this virtual influencer becomes popular, which I've created with the use of technology, I haven't signed anybody. I am managing this virtual influencer along with a team of 3-4 people. Then brands start coming to me for their endorsements once my virtual influencer is popular, and I can make millions of dollars just by designing a virtual influencer, and spending time on making that virtual influencer popular. That is also very important. I've given you some examples over here. And also, unlike your other human influencers, virtual influencers are constantly available, right? So you can design content with them and work with the brands at any point of time. That is also an additional advantage. I'm wanting to show you at least some of the virtual influencers and how they have been endorsing the brand. So this is an example of Kyra, who is India's first virtual influencer. You can see the number of followers. I think this number would have increased now. So 273,000 followers of Kyra on Instagram. And she is a virtual influencer. She just looks like a female, and sometimes people are not able to figure out whether they are seeing a virtual influencer or a human influencer. Even when they know that this is a virtual influencer, they would actually want to see content. And there are different kinds of contents you can see that have been designed. Now, this one that I've just shown is for a sunscreen lotion. And there is a giveaway contest where you are giving away a mobile phone that has been designed into the content. Now, how exactly, working with a virtual influencer looks like can be seen over here. So if you can quickly scan this QR code and have a look at this particular ad for American Tourister, a brand which sells luggages. I'm waiting for a minute so that all of you can scan this. I'm waiting for your comments in the chat box, and you can actually put your comments in the chat over here. Please, when you scan this, you will be seeing the Instagram post of Kyra for this particular ad. Notice the number of likes and comments. Huge number of likes and a lot of comments that you have on this Instagram post. And also there are words written on top of this Instagram post which says paid partnership. Please have a look at this. And I'm waiting for some of the messages in the chat once you do it.
Unfortunately, we couldn't load the media.
I hope you have your phones handy with you.
Probably it is a private account, so we couldn't see the profile of the Instagram. We couldn't see the page.
You can't access the Instagram?
Yeah, couldn't access.
Okay.
Probably since it was
nobody
private.
can have an access to it?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I thought that, no, even if the account is private, I think you will get to see 20-25 comment. Okay. Okay, probably because you're not following it. Okay, never mind. Okay, I'll just show you some of the examples. Next time, probably I can play it or scan it later on. But let us try and understand what the concept is about. So there is one thing which I had talked about, which in that Instagram account, which talks about paid partnership. So most of the content that you're seeing in case of social media influencers and also virtual influencers, they will mention that this is a paid partnership with a particular brand. That's how you get to know whether this is a content which a social media influencer is putting on her own will, or is it a brand promotion. So look for the words paid promotion, sponsored. This will tell you that this is actually endorsed by a brand. This is another example of a virtual influencer. Now, this virtual influencer is called Ima, and she's a virtual Japanese. KOL is your the opinion leader, key opinion leader, which is also a form of influencer. And she has also done a lot of brand promotions. So in case you were not able to see the earlier one, have a look. You can probably scan this code, which is towards your extreme right hand side. This will take you to the YouTube video link. Okay, so if not Instagram, let's see if this works. Can you see this promotion? This picture I've taken from there from YouTube. So try scanning this particular QR code and let me know if you could see the YouTube video. So can you see this ad? So this person that you are seeing in the video is a virtual influencer. She doesn't look like also a human influencer because she has a very typical pink hair look given to her, and that's how that's a very distinguishing feature of Ima, and that's how people know her. So yes, for this soda brand. So when you talk about the soda brand, it was shown that how, in the virtual space, how the ad is also designed is something very interesting. I would have loved to show India's Skyra's ad to you because that was really designed in a very interesting way. But this is also a virtual influencer. It talks about something which is very futuristic and how the content will be designed in future. Now, okay, so this was another example. One broad question remains that how authentic are these virtual influencers? So when a human influencer is talking to you, a human influencer is giving his or her suggestion to you about a brand, or how do I feel about a brand? What are the things that I like? What are the things that I don't like? But when the companies are approaching a virtual influencer is being managed by somebody. So it is almost like an advertisement where they will just talk about what the company wants them to speak. So are they authentic? Some people feel yes, they are authentic, but there are already researches which are done which show that as compared to a human influencer, a virtual influencer is less authentic because a human influencer has a mind to think, to design content, and to talk to you. A virtual influencer is ultimately being managed by technology, and therefore, according to a research, a human influencer came out to be more authentic as compared to a virtual influencer. Okay, one last thing now, again, which is a part of the changing landscape of influencer marketing. So what a lot of people are talking about designing of metaverse. Now, this is again, going to come up in a very big way. People and big brands and companies are still researching on it, and they are spending a huge amount of money in designing their metaverse platforms. Once that thing comes, things are going to be very different altogether. So as you can see over here, already in the year 2020, as a part of the game Fortnite. Now, Fortnite is one of the video games which is very popular all across the world. A lot of teenagers actually play this game. A lot of people, other people, young people are also aware about this game. So as a part of this game, there's a very famous performer, Travis Scott, who performed on the Fortnite platform in the metaverse environment. So Fortnite, as it is, offers you an immersive environment. So using the concept of metaverse, Travis Scott was actually probably at some other place doing this performance, as you can see over here. And the same actions and the movements and the songs could be heard by people from all over the world who had joined to see his performance on Fortnite. So there was a live performance which was happening. 12 million people from across the world actually attended it. There were a lot of kids also who liked playing Fortnite, and their parents did not mind that, okay, you can see the concert on Fortnite because you're sitting at home, so you can watch the concert. And this was happening in the metaverse platform, as you can see over here. As I've already said, a lot of testing of the metaverse platforms has already been started by a lot of good big brands and companies, and these are still being developed. And in going forward in future, metaverse is going to change a lot of things for example, how the office meetings will happen and other things. But when we talk of influencer marketing, what will change? So when the metaverse platforms get developed, a food blogger can go live. All the people who are following him can join him in metaverse, and the food blogger can actually be cooking food along with the followers in the same platform. Obviously you'll be requiring probably a headphone for that. You will be entering into a metaverse environment, but you will feel as if everybody is sitting in the same room, even if you've joined from outside, from somewhere outside. So the future is going to be very different, and metaverse is going to play a major role over there. The future is going to be immersive. That's how things are going to change. Okay, so this is going to come later on, and this will become a very normal thing. Right now, it has just happened in pockets, but this is how things are changing. And the last thing now, if you remember, last time I told you to go through this book, Marketing 5.0, because this is the era. Right now, we are living in the era of Marketing 5.0. This is what I had mentioned, and that is why we are trying to create experiences for the customer through various technology. Today, I'm telling you one more book. So from Marketing 5.0, which is the era in which we are presently studying and or making strategies, what is the future? We are slowly and gradually moving towards Marketing 6.0, for which again you have a book. And what does the book talk about? This talks about how the future is going to be immersive with the coming of metaverse, by using augmented reality, virtual reality. We are right now, Marketing 5.0 says use the technology, create customer experiences. Marketing 6.0 explains that how the future is going to be immersive with the help of the virtual influencers, the metaverse, and the various kinds of augmented reality and virtual reality and other things that you're able to do. So the future is gradually, or we are gradually moving towards this future, which is Marketing 6.0, which is right now not there. But this is how we are expecting it to be. This is what the book talks about, that this is the future is immersive. So that is Marketing 6.0. So that's all for this presentation. And what are the final takeaways that we say? That while designing an influencer marketing strategies, you have to identify the influencer who aligns with the brand values and identity. But you have to be very careful, because the fame of the influencers could be very short-lived. Sometimes the social media influencers can also have fake followers. So be very careful about this thing. Also, if you are a large brand, you cannot only rely on influencer marketing. Small brands can start with influencer marketing and rely on only that strategy. But a large brand will need to have some other digital strategies along with influencer marketing strategy, because you have to create a larger impact, because you have a bigger market lying in front of you. So bigger brands definitely should use influencer marketing, but they should also use other strategies while designing their digital marketing strategy. And because we talked about the future being immersive, we have seen that there is a growing trend towards using virtual influencers. With the coming of generative AI, it will be easier for anybody, for person, or even like people like you and me, to design a virtual influencer. Therefore, we can see a growing trend towards virtual influencers, because they'll be easier to design. And because of metaverse in play, influencer marketing can look very different in future. So that's all from my side. So that's the end of the presentation. But to remind you, there is an important, there's a lot of questions I know last time also and this time also are based on cost and the pricing part of it. So we will do that exercise. And we will also talk about a very important thing, that how to decide your digital marketing budget, because that is also one common query that I get. But before I move on to that, I stop here, and I would hand over the session to Renee before I actually talk about the other aspects also.
All right, thank you so much, Prof. Gupta. I think the content is very interesting and insightful. So, okay, let's continue with the discussion sessions At this time, we already have received several questions from the students. Probably, I can start with the first questions coming from Mr. Agus Setiawan. Okay. Talking about using the influencer to promote the sales marketing, as the company that have a budget to use influencer, when the company propose to use selected influencer, is there any possibility for bargaining of the price between the company and influencer, or the rate is depend on the influencer?
Okay. So that's a question which is somehow related to one topic that I'm wanting to explain also.
Hmm.
So generally the influencers have a specific charge that how much they will charge for a particular post. But yes, you can or definitely you can negotiate with them on the rates that they're going to charge. It is a little difficult in case of big influencers, the mega influencers, because somebody who's already charging a millions of dollars will, how much will the person reduce in terms of the cost? Sometimes, as I've already explained, in terms of nano influencer, in terms of micro influencer, you can tell them that we do not have so much of money, but we can give our free products to you, and that if that is something that works with the influencer, it's absolutely fine. Now, if the influencer is not ready, for example, to negotiate on the price, then what you have to first of all see is that whether that much budget is available with your company or not. Second, whether spending that much of money will make any sense to you or not. So I think in that context, and also because a lot of questions would be answered if I now do this exercise. So can I just request now all the students to keep their notebooks and pens handy so that we go back to do this exercise, so that we have some sense of, what kind of cost benefit analysis we need to do while signing a particular amount with an influencer. So Renee, with your permission, can I just quickly do that exercise so that we understand?
Sure. Sure, Prof. Okay, so everyone can prepare for the notebook and pen. So Professor Gupta will, lead you for the mini exercise to calculate the cost, the feasibility cost for using influencer. Cost benefit analysis, right?
Yes,
Okay.
we'll do the exercise.
Yeah.
Just give me 1 minute.
Okay. So
Yeah.
everyone, you can follow the instructions from Prof. Gupta.
Okay. So if you remember, we had talked about the huge costs associated with the celebrities. We talked about Ronaldo and Messi. And I told you that one of the Indian celebrities who's from the sports world, Virat Kohli, so he's also endorsing a lot of brands. And as per this report, charging close to 9 crore rupees. Okay. Now, as a brand manager, as a person who's signing the deal, I want to understand whether it will make sense for me to sign Virat Kohli with such a huge amount. So I can do certain calculations over here. I will tell you the steps. Please listen to the steps. And this is something which can be followed for most of the products and industries. There are certain rates that I'm going to tell you, which is going to be different for products and industries, and we will see it in these two examples here. Okay. Now, if Virat Kohli has done a similar promotion of a product, let me say for Puma shoes here. So Puma India has this advertisement that Virat Kohli has put on his Instagram account. Okay, and I want to now figure out whether it makes sense for my brand, to pay almost 9 crore rupees to Virat Kohli. So there are certain steps that I follow. Okay, have a look at the arrows here. What are we going to do? We are going to do a cost benefit analysis. Okay. Look at this figure. This says paid partnership with Puma India, which says that it is a sponsored post, that a brand has paid money to Virat Kohli, and this is not something that he's putting on his own. Now comes an interesting figure. Okay, this one towards the lower part of this first ad that you have. How many likes do you have? This is more than 26 lakh likes. Do you see this?
Yeah.
I want to keep interacting in the chat box, chat also. Okay, so do you see that how many likes we have? 26 lakh. Okay. Now I'll tell you how do we do this calculation. Now the shoes offered by this brand lies in a variety of range, starting from 2000, 3000, going on to 11, 12,000 and more costly shoes also. Okay, so I have seen that total number of likes is close to 26 lakhs. Now, what I want to know is the average price of a shoe. So if Virat Kohli is endorsing for this particular brand of shoe, and the shoes are available for 2,000, 2,500, 3,000, 4,000, going up to 10, 11, 12,000. Okay, that's the price of the shoe. I have to assume the average price of the shoe. And because we're doing this calculation, let us take all the figures towards the lower side so that we do a proper cost benefit analysis. We should be sure. Let's not be over optimistic. I can very, very safely assume the average price of the shoe here to be rupees 3,000, let me say. Most of the shoes are above 5,000. Let me very safely assume that 3,000 is the average price of the product. So please start writing in your notebook. Average price of the shoe, rupees 3,000. Okay. And this will differ from brand to brand, from product to product. Okay. We will see it in the second case. This will be different. So average price of the shoe is rupees 3,000. So what is the average price for your brand? That is something that you have to see. Second, write down what is the number of likes that you have received over here. Very safely towards the lower side, I'm saying 26 lakh. Please write 26 lakh. Okay. Or 2.6 million, whatever figure you're comfortable working with. Next, now we have to look at the industry conversion rate. Different industries have different conversion rates in terms of the sales which is actually converted, and you can do a Google search or find out in what particular industry what is the rate of conversion. Very safely, we are assuming that the rate of conversion of the users or the audience over here is only 2 to 3%. 2 to 3% is actual conversion, where we are saying that the total number of people who have, okay, so 26 lakh people have liked the ad. Maybe 50 lakh have seen the ad. Out of 26 lakh who have liked the ad, we are assuming now 2 to 3% also, we are assuming only 2% people have converted into actual purchasers. Now what we do is we do a 2% of 26 lakh who actually end up buying the product. Please do 2% of 26 lakh and tell me what is the figure. Please write it in the chat. 2% of 26 lakh.
Right?
I hope you're doing the calculation. What we are saying is only 2% people out of 26 lakh who had actually liked the post are buying the product. So how many people have actually bought the product? 2% of 26 lakh is about 52,000.
Yes, 52,000.
Yeah, about 52,000 people. Okay. Yeah. Now, if these 52,000 people are buying this product for which the average price is rupees 3,000, how much is the amount of money that I'm going to make by this single ad? 52,000 multiplied by the average price, which is 3,000. Yes.
156 million.
Yes, which means that I am going to make 15.6 crore rupees as compared to approximate 9 crore rupees that I had spent on this ad. Is it a good deal to do? You spend 9 crores and you're earning back 15.6 crores. And we have taken figures towards the lower side in all our cases. You still get to benefit. Cost was 9 lakh. What you have earned as a revenue is 15. Cost was 9 crore. What you have earned is more than 15 crores. Do you understand? Does this make sense? So in spite of this being a very costly affair, it still gives benefit to you. Now we'll take the second case. Second is a deodorant. A product which is a deodorant, which is a very less costly product. Let me say only for 300 rupees in terms of Indian rupees. So again, we will do the same thing. Now have a look at this particular arrow. How many, now this arrow tells you the number of views because it was a video ad. So now instead of likes, you will see the views. How many views in all? More than 38 lakh. Do you see the total number of views? Yeah. We are assuming the average price of the product as 300 rupees. Okay. But here the conversion rate will also be more. It's just a Dio brand. So many people are following Virat Kohli. So many people have seen it. Out of so many people who have 38 million people, or lakhs people, sorry, who have liked the thing or have viewed it, out of it, we can safely assume in this particular industry for a product like Dio, the conversion rate is 8%. Okay, 8 to 10%. It can sometimes be 15% also. As I said, that the rate of conversion will be different for different products and for different industries. So here we can very safely assume that the rate of conversion is, let me say, 8%. So if I do an 8% conversion rate for 38 lakh people, how many people will actually end up buying the product? Conversion is about 3,04,000 people. 3 lakh people, okay? Yeah, approximately. Now what do? These number of people multiplied by the price of the average price of the product, which is about only 300 rupees. Please do this. What you will get is rupees 9.1 crore. And you are spending 9 crore rupees. And most probably you will be earning more than this because we took only 8% in a FMCG industry, which has a lesser number of, for a 300 rupees Dio, the conversion rate generally goes up to 15%, as I said. So this is still a strategy which will bring you more benefit than the cost. I have worked with the least amount of figures with you so that we know that this is the least amount that we can expect to earn back, right? Once you actually have a look at the industry conversion rates, you will realize that you are actually earning a lot of more money. So this is one thing which tells you, this is one kind of a cost benefit analysis that you can do in case of influencers. So this was about influencers. Okay, so now in the last class, if I remember correctly, a lot of people were talking about the fact that digital strategy seems to be very costly, especially artificial intelligence is a very costly affair. So should we actually engage in that particular technology, and how many people are actually able to afford it? So some of the artificial intelligence backed technology, yes, is costly. But as I just explained as a part of this presentation, there are certain generative AI from which, for example, you can produce a virtual influencer. Some of the generative AI is available free of cost to all of us. Sometimes it is only a few dollars that they will charge you to produce a virtual influencer. This is also an AI technology, but this again comes at a very low cost, right? But how much can you invest actually in AI will be governed by what is the scale of your business and what is your digital marketing budget. So the last exercise that I'm doing with you, in fact, it's not an exercise, it's a guideline. People sometimes ask, how much should be my digital marketing budget? So are we ready to note it down before we actually start working with any of the strategies? Okay, so I'm reading your comments also side by side. In case you have a problem, you can ask me. So the last thing which I want to tell you from my side, after which the rest of the questions will be taken up. How do you decide your digital marketing budget? So there is a 3-step procedure that we follow. The first step, about 7 to 10% of your net profit or your revenue should be the total marketing budget. Please note this down. Now, this will be different for different industries, for different businesses, for small businesses, for large businesses. And that's why we say whatever is your total net revenue or your net profit, 7 to 10% will be the total marketing budget. Now, step 2. You have your total marketing budget now available with you. At least 50%. Most of the people say 50 to 60%. But at least 50% of this marketing budget should be digital marketing budget. That is step 2. So in step 1, I get the total marketing budget, which I'm spending on so many other things. Marketing involves lots of activities. In the second step, I say digital marketing budget should be 50% of it. So now you get a figure for digital marketing budget also. Now the third and the last step. Third and the last step is 70 70-10 rule. I'm writing here in the comment box in case it is difficult to understand. 70-20-10 rule. This is the third step. So in the second step, you got your digital marketing budget. In the third step, you divide this total digital marketing budget in the ratio of 70-20-10. What is the meaning of 70-20-10? 70% of your digital marketing budget should go towards the activities which you have already tried and which are giving back revenue to you. 70% of the digital marketing budget, I'm repeating, should go to the activities that you have tried earlier, and it is also giving you back the revenue. Then what to do with the 20% of the digital marketing budget? 20% of the digital marketing budget should be spent on new strategies that you are now introducing in your firm. So let me say that I was not earlier using a particular digital strategy, but now I want to do it, designing an app and giving an AR feature over there. So 20% of your budget should go towards new strategies, which you are introducing for the first time, which other brands have used and they are gaining out of it, but your brand has not used till now. So 20% should go towards it. Then comes the last 10%. Last 10% of the digital marketing budget should be the amount that you can spend on experimental basis or new things which have come up. Let me say virtual influencer or any other new strategy which has come up. And if you feel that this experimental strategy is also giving you, good benefits and returns, you can continue to use that in future. So it's a little longish topic. I can see some of the people, trying to think too hard. Okay, so I'm just repeating very quickly the 3 steps, after which we'll take up the last few questions. So how to decide your digital marketing budget? In the first step, we say 7 to 10% of the net profit or the revenue would be your total marketing budget. Second step, 50% of this total marketing budget will be digital marketing budget. Third step, 70-20-10 rule. Now you know your digital marketing budget. 70% should go towards strategies which are working for you. You have already worked with these strategies. They are giving you good returns. 20% of the budget will go to those strategies which are new for you. Other people have tried. They are gaining good results from it. So you also want to try it now. That is 20%. And the last 10% is for experimental budget. Let's try this thing also. Let me see if it gives me good returns. So that is that 10% of the digital marketing budget. I hope that makes it clear. So all these things are related to calculating the cost, your budgets, and how much amount should go where. And there are many other guidelines which have been given. For example, when we are talking about that 70% component, some people say 24% should go towards content creation. On the basis of experience, some people say some percentage should go towards SEO. So that bifurcation can be different for different industries. I hope that gives you some clarity on this.
Yeah,
Yes,
very
Venu.
clear, I think. Thank you so much, Prof. Gupta. You have given us the insights for how to calculate the cost and benefit and also the budgeting for the digital marketing. I think it's very interesting, the 70, 20, and 10 rules. All right, so we can continue for the discussion. Probably I will give the opportunity for the students to talk directly with our speaker. So you may raise your hands now for everyone who wants to have direct conversations with Prof. Gupta. All right, Pak from Muhammad Ardani. Okay, Pak Ardani, please unmute your microphone.
Thank you, Bu Reni. Good afternoon, Prof. Ruchiji. Namaste.
Thank you so much.
आपका स्वागत है. मेरा नाम अर्दानी है.
Thank you so much. You speak so nice Hindi.
Yeah, because I was working on in India, Prof. So a little bit speak Hindi. So the question is, my family has their own business and still selling in traditional markets. The business is salted fish packets. I don't know in India existing or no for salted fish. So means the fish like giving by salt means in Indonesia called ikan asin. So I'm still doubt and hesitant about endorsing the influencers because I'm still selling in traditional markets, Prof. Especially on Instagram, I don't know for endorsing the influencer. So is there any advice from you, Prof, for that one? Thank
Yeah,
you.
sure. A part of it I had discussed as a part of the lecture, but you have very good options available with you. So what you can do is you need to find out good influencers from Indonesia who are probably food bloggers or make some reels or YouTube videos about food, right? But you have to be very careful that these people should not have fake followers. They should be genuine food bloggers. So you can actually visit their Instagram profiles, their YouTube videos to see how many people are liking their content. Also, how many people are commenting, what are they commenting. You should be very careful that people should not be commenting things like that you are posting fake videos, or this was the brand that you had mentioned was a fraud or something like that. So just do a quick search on your level and then try to approach some of the good influencers. Now, most of the influencers probably would want to charge some money from you. So if that is one budget that you can afford, fine. Otherwise, you can try explaining to them that this is one platform that I'm starting to explore right now. And I want to send you this free assortment of fish for you to try. If you like it, please make a video and post it on your Instagram account. And this is a gift box from my side. Okay. So if they're not charging anything from you, you give a gift to them. If they like your product, please tell them to make a video and tell them that I am exploring it for the first time. And I feel that this will actually give me a lot of advantage. And once my brand grows, I probably will be looking at more deals with you. So you can try explaining it to them. But probably one post will not work. You can actually try to, reach out to more influencers. One thing. Second is that trust me that these things do work. There is also, a concept of, the micro celebrity restaurants, which is now being researched on. And what is the meaning of it? The restaurants which nobody knew of earlier, but influencers posted about them and now they become big brands. So they became big. Why? Their businesses became big because they were big influencers or effective influencers talking about these restaurants. So if people start talking about your brand, tell them what are the USPs of your brand. Do you source the fish fresh? Let them tell them thing to the audience in the reel. What is the benefit that they will get? Freshly packed meat and all. This is what you can talk about. So tell them about the content. Send them free gift boxes 2-3 times. It's absolutely fine. Okay, you don't have to send them assortment of 100 things because you cannot consume it within so many things. But 2-3 different things at one time, after 1 week again 2-3 things, different things, so that they can actually talk about it. Try exploring, it will work.
All right. That's it.
Kriya, Prof,
That's it for you?
Suchiji.
Yeah,
I will do. I will do your advice.
Yes, try doing it without the money first, so that you are not actually spending too much in the beginning. If it proves to be effective, then you can actually start paying the influencer.
Agree. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right.
Prof.
Thank you so much, Prof. Gupta. So
Terima kasih,
I
Budi.
will, yeah. So I will give the opportunity for the other question for the other students. I think we also have interesting questions coming from Mr. Haryanto. Yeah, is there any rule of ethic in the world of influencer? What do you think about there was a restaurant getting bankrupt and closed after get reviewed by the food blogger? What is went wrong? Thank you.
Okay, so I understood the
What the
first part of the
ethics,
question,
the
that
role
yes,
of
the
ethics?
ethics
Yeah.
part of it. So when
Hmm.
you talk about the ethics, yes, for the influencers, if they really want to make it big, because they also understand that they have, a possibility of growing into macro influencers, and that will start giving them a lot of recognition and money also at the same time by the brands. So they have to be very careful that whatever brands that they are endorsing are not fake accounts or fake brands, and that their products and services are genuine and are also maintaining a certain quality. Okay, just to make some money doing a free brand promotion or a paid brand promotion for the influencers will not make sense. Similarly, buying fake followers to show that
Mm.
I am a big influencer will not help the influencers. In the long run, there are certain agencies, and you can take the help of those agencies in finding out whether the influencer has fake followers. There are softwares which can identify it, so you can actually find it out. So when an influencer is actually engaging in any of these unethical activities, in the long run, this is not helpful for the influencers. The brands which are not doing a proper search before finalizing an influencer, they also get to lose. And somehow, the entire thing would not, will not take you higher in terms of the number of followers. People, when they start realizing that this is, something fake, they will start writing against it. So one thing which Philip Kotler used to write, in the good old days when social media was not even there. It was a world where we talked about marketing 3.0. So according to the research, his book also states that one dissatisfied customer will badmouth the product or will talk about his disappointment to 10 other people. That was a day when social media was not there. But now with social media being so prominent and all of us having some account on some social media platform, if I am not satisfied with a brand, if I find out a brand is fake or an influencer is promising wrong things, and if I put out a post out there, it can reach thousands and lakhs and millions of people. And everybody gets to know about the fake brand, fake influencer, or the fake following and anything. Because you have a voice now which everybody is listening to. So ultimately, it is not in the interest of the brand, of the influencers, anybody. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, I think it answers already. Thank you so much. Or do you have any feedback, Pak Haryanto?
Thank for further explanation, Prof. Huta. Thank you.
All
Very
right.
clearly.
All right, thank you so much. Any questions from the other students? You may raise your hand, so I will give the time for you to have direct talk to our speaker. Probably I want to invite Pak Satria Omega Manting. Yeah, are you willing to ask directly to Professor Gupta? I think you also have interesting questions. Pak Satria?
Yeah, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Incredible, Prof. I feel like not like inside the classroom, but I feel in consultant marketing. Thank you very much. So I have two questions. The first, how do you rule the data analytic and performance metric involving in influencer marketing campaign? And what key metric and should campaign priorities to measure the success, their influence partnership? And the second, with the rise of influencer controversy and public security, what the crisis management strategy do you recommend for campaign to mitigate reputation and damage maintain brand reliance in the face of negative publicity? Thank you, Prof.
All right, thank you, Pak
Yes.
Satria. Yeah, the first question is about the role of data analytics and performance metrics that evolving in influencer marketing campaigns. Is there any metrics should company prioritize to measure the success of their influencer partnership?
Yeah, sure. So right now there is no standard matrix which has been developed. People have been suggesting different things, but where you try finding out, I'll tell you some of the things. Now, whenever you have an influencer posting about your brand, it is very much possible to track how many people actually were diverted from the influencer's account to your particular website. So when you talk about the conversion matrices, when you talk about, how much effective they were, and what is the basis of finding out, through research that how many people actually got converted, one is a survey method that they are saying that yes, we bought. But the other one is actually keeping a tab on the figures. So there are softwares which can actually track it in the very similar fashion as if you post any particular advertisement on Facebook, for example. If you are familiar with the working of Facebook, it will tell you exactly how many people from which part of the country or the world saw your ad, how many people actually were diverted from your particular platform to the other platform. Similarly, you can actually do a tracking from the influencers post that was specifically talking about your brand, how effective it was. One. Okay. So there are metrics which are available. This is the one thing. What is the second thing? So as researchers, when we also find out about effectiveness of influencers, we do something which is called as a text analysis and also sentiment analysis.
Oh, sentiment, yeah.
Yeah. So what is the meaning of this? When an influencer is posting about your brand, please go to that brand post. Open the number of comments that you have received. What are people writing about it? So make a Word file of that entire thing and do a text analysis of it. You can also do a sentiment analysis, which with the help of even a software which is offered by IBM, which anybody can use. So it's not something where you actually have to use a very complicated software also to do it. So what will come out from text analysis is mostly what are people talking about your brand and about that post. Are they talking about only influencer? Oh, I like your dress and all. Or are they talking about your brand? Okay, which is this brand? Can you tell me about your company page? Where can we buy this dress from? You know, are they talking about your brand and your product? So this will come out from text analysis. What will come out from sentiment analysis is, are they positively inclined towards this particular content that the influencer has posted, or are they negatively inclined? For example, in your last post also you talked about this, but this product was not good, is a negative sentiment, right? So even before signing off an influencer, you can actually go to some of their posts where they have done brand promotions, and you can very quickly yourself also do a text analysis, sentiment analysis, because those conversions you cannot see because you have not sponsored that content. You can track conversions for your brand, where the influencer is doing promotion for you, but you cannot track the conversions which have happened for some other brand. But you can definitely do a text analysis or a sentiment analysis for certain other brands also, that what is the outcome of the promotions of such brands. So these are very simple things to start from. Otherwise, there are so as far as a developing of matrices is concerned, there are certain figures that you can work on, and people have started thinking in the direction that what exact could be a standard matrix which can be followed, which is not there at present. But yes, there are many such indicative figures which will tell you how effective was the campaign of the influencer. In addition to the figures, I've already said about the text analysis, where the major highlights of the words and all will come to you, and the sentiment analysis, which tells you, is it positively or negatively inclined towards the brand. So these are few things that you can actually try to begin with.
Okay. All right, Prof. Bhuta, I think it is also related to the second questions, related to the negative sentiment, negative reputational
Yes.
caused by the influencer. So, do you have any recommendations or crisis management strategy to mitigate the reputational damage and to maintain the brand resilience in the face of negative publicity? These questions also come from Satria.
Yeah. So to begin with, first of all, try to make all possible, try that negative sentiment should not arise at all. But that should be the first step. Okay. But in spite of doing all kinds of exercises, sometimes it is possible that you ended up signing a wrong influencer, or the product content was designed in a way which did not go down very well with the audience. So in that case, it's about the image correction of the brand. And it is also about managing that negative publicity which happened because of either the influencer or the content that was designed, or because of, the way in which your product was presented, or maybe the product was fake at all. So I am assuming that if you are talking about an image correction, it is actually done by a brand which is doing serious business. Now, when you're doing serious business and there are negative comments, what is the way to deal with it? The first thing that we need to understand, if it was actually a mistake, admit that mistake on social media with all your followers. A brand which is hesitant to admit the mistake will start losing out on the followers. But admitting the mistake, stating the reason, and giving a reassurance that we are working for you. It has happened in so many cases. For example, while designing of the content by so many brands. For example, Pepsi came out with so many ads which were not taken in a very good taste by a lot of audiences, right? Similarly, a lot of fashion apparel brands have also done that. A lot of influencers sometimes are not able to make good reels. So are the brands continuing those associations with them? Definitely not. But the content designing part of it can really sometimes go wrong. Sometimes, it is not just content. For example, in case of even a food delivery app, sometimes the food reaches to you in a damaged condition. Okay, so it is not just about influencers, it is also about overall digital marketing, where a chat box is interacting with you, right? It's a technical thing which is interacting with you. So what do? You say, no, I had sent the good food to you in the good condition. You even, you just probably ask the customer to click a picture of the food which has reached the customer. You look at the picture and you say that, yes, it doesn't look in a good condition. I'm redeeming that much amount of money to you back. So this is just one way of managing that particular crisis. You redeem that amount of money. Similarly, because of an influencer, if some content, see, because again, because of influencer marketing, what could go wrong is the content was not designed properly. So are you explaining, or are you coming out with another video which explains that why and what you intended to say and how it was taken by the audience? Okay, so negative trolling is a very common thing on social media. Image correction, negative publicity is something which needs to be managed. It needs to be managed in respect of what product you are dealing in, what is your brand, what is your product, how long your company has been in existence, do people trust your brand? You will have to use all these things in designing the strategy to mitigate that loss. If you are a new brand and if something like this happens, it's very difficult for you to build up a brand following very quickly. You will have to really take time to build up that brand following. But if you are an established brand and most of the customers are satisfied with your products, trust me, it is not very difficult to come out from that image. A lot of companies have used different strategies to come out of a negative publicity. A very common strategy, for example, that I know of is a celebrity endorsement. Find a celebrity who is known for his or her trustworthiness.
Okay.
I'll give you a small example. Cadbury chocolates had a worm controversy in India where, certain worms were found in the chocolate. And this was something which went viral. People said that we have been trusting this brand for many years and, and this brand is also not offering quality stuff. So first of all, an apology was given that that we don't know how this was done. Second thing, they came out with an ad which talked about the packaging, a two-step packaging with a purity seal. That this purity seal means that your product is safe to consume. Third, they signed a very popular Indian celebrity, Amitabh Bachchan. I'm sure you would have heard of him. He is known for his trustworthiness. If he says that this brand is good, people believe it is good. So when Amitabh Bachchan started endorsing for Cadbury, saying, that it is safe for consumption, that was the first thing that they did. And then they altered the thing altogether. They came out with very humorous campaigns about Cadbury chocolates, which people started enjoying. And within a very short span of time, people forgot that there was some controversy and the sales of Cadbury chocolates actually picked up much more than ever before because of signing of this trustworthy brand ambassador. So this is again one of the strategies. So which company we are dealing with, which particular brand are we dealing with, which influencer are we dealing with? Is it a mega influencer? Sometimes it is a mega influencer. The mega influencers, the entire career also sometimes can be at stake. There are influencers who have been talking about big brands, and then those big brands came out to be, not safe for consumption. So people started questioning the authentic or the authenticity of the big brand ambassadors, how authentic they are. Are they doing the, any kind of groundwork before actually signing an endorsement deal? So it works both ways. for both the brands as well as the influencers. Especially for the mega influencers, it is a much more crisis for their own image that they build up over a period of time. And it needs to be managed. It can be managed, but have the guts to say, yes, we were at fault and we are sorry and we are correcting it. Don't try to say that we were not at fault. Or if you are not at fault, actually, genuinely, please give the explanation for it. People want to listen to the explanation. They will forgive you, but there has to be a way to manage it. And there are many examples from world over how this image correction, coming out of the negative publicity, and how these things have been designed, the strategies have been designed by different brands and companies. It can happen to anybody, and you need to know the right way to come out of it. I hope that answers the question, though it cannot be the same strategy for everybody. But as I said, what brand, what company, what trust have you built up with the customers over a period of time? How much trust people have in your brand, in your products? Who are the people, brand ambassadors, who are talking about your product, giving their assurance to the consumers? Are you able to give an explanation of what went wrong and why went wrong, and then give an assurance to people? If the food actually went wrong while delivery, are you able to redeem that amount to people? People are able to forgive you, fine. While getting the delivery, the food could be leaked out, from a particular container. They are able to forgive you. But if you don't reimburse the amount, they will always keep feeling, my 500 rupees got wasted. Give them back that amount. It is, the giving back the amount or redeeming the amount is a very small thing. You don't want to hurt your business in the long run. So there are ways of managing it. You need to know what's best for your business.
All right, thank you,
Okay.
Prof. Gupta. I think it already answer some of also the questions coming from the other students about how to manage and deal with the negative insights coming from the influencer activity. Probably I will invite one more students to convey their questions to close. I think to close the sessions. Pak Satrio Hadi Wibowo, you also have interesting questions here. Would you like to convey your questions directly to Prof. Gupta? Pak Satrio,
Okay,
would you like to unmute your microphone?
Bu
Okay,
Reni.
thank you so much. Yes, Pak Satrio.
Thank you, Bu Reni. Prof. Ruchikut, thank you very much for the I'm very excited about your presentation today. I want to ask about could you tell me how to integrate digital marketing strategy, Miss, in the context of B2B business, in service company effectively? Because for example that you shown, digital marketing is usually to approach the B2C maybe business in consumer goods maybe So can you tell me about the
Yeah, sure.
digital marketing? Yes, in B2B business in service company maybe, Miss. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So the B2B business is very different. I think most of the discussion that you've done is revolving around the B2C. So if you remember some of the strategies and the technology that we had discussed in our last class, especially about how digital technology is being used these days. Now that is very much applicable in case of B2B marketing. Now, what is this B2B? It could be different things. It could be a product industry. It could be service industry. So let me say that there is a product industry where you want to sell a component for a machine to another business, and you want to make a presentation for that. Now, when you're doing this presentation, now what we are expecting in future, though it's not just metaverse related, a lot of presentations can be done in metaverse where people sitting at different places can talk about it. Now, when I'm talking about education, I don't remember whether I had mentioned it last time. So when medical students are being taught about how a heart surgery is to be done, instead of doing it on a dead body, doing the bisection and then trying to understand the heart, Now, you can have a virtual image of the heart in between a room around which 10, 20 people, medical students are standing. You can actually pick, just with the motion of the hand, you can zoom, the picture of the heart, expand it so that students can see what are the arteries and all, and what are the different compartments of the heart. And then while doing a bisection, this is the place where you need to cut. So they don't have to see inside the body a small heart. They're actually expanding the image of it. And what is it? This is all happening in virtual reality. They've actually created it that way, right? You can also make prototype products, for example, in, for example, with the help of 3D manufacturing, and this is what we want to produce, and this is what we'll produce for you. So small miniature of those products while making B2B presentations are also helpful, where 3D printing comes handy, which is also part of digital technology being used in order to produce your product. When it comes to service industries, now depending on which particular service industry are we talking about. So if your services involve, for example, now depending as like what is the service you are providing. So if it's a food delivery app, or if it is some app which requires the development of a chatbot, you can actually show that, what kind of a chatbot you are going to develop, and what is the unique thing that your chatbot will have, so that customers have least amount of queries and their queries are resolved mostly through the chatbots. Another type of application of digital in a service industry is where, probably the service industry is that of a travel, maybe a hotel or a restaurant. That's also a service industry. Now, when you are actually doing a B2B deal with, for example, a platform like Airbnb, you can actually send them certain virtual tours of your rooms and probably, your restaurants and other special places. So that's again a B2B deal, because you are getting your platform listed on Airbnb, your restaurant, your hotel, your cab services listed over there. So how can you use digital specifically in case of your business is very much dependent on your exact industry, your exact work. If you tell me, sometimes, there are people who ask me also that, okay, this is my business, this is the product, this is the service. What are the things that we can do with the help of digital technology? Something which is not very costly also, and something which we can work effectively. So exact details of the business are required. And I might also take sometimes, some hours or one day to think that, okay, these are the ways in which you can do, but trust me, there are lots of options. With the help of technology, with the help of strategies, a lot can be done. Probably influencer marketing is not needed for a B2B thing, but then there are other things in digital sphere which will be helpful. As I said, the virtual tours are helpful. Augmented reality, to see how a component of a machine works, you can actually show it to a client through augmented reality. You can also show a lot of virtual tours, and a lot of things going forward can be done in metaverse environment also. Some of the businesses have already developed their metaverse environments. They are having contests and pop shows which the managers are attending and enjoying. They're not doing any work right now because they're just testing those metaverse environments. So they are, doing some kind of a employee get together, managerial games. They're doing that in metaverse environment. So there is a lot of scope of doing a lot of things for the service industry also. A service industry could be as simple as selling a telecom service. So what can a telecom service do with the help of digital? So are you able to connect people in some way? The simplest way is that even if in case of your B2B thing, you need to engage your client. How will you engage your client? Can you come up with some digital content that your client would interact with and then understand a few things? It could be a banking industry, a B2C example, but still can be used for a B2B. So a banking industry basically had developed an app, a gaming app. Now, what will a gaming app do? For the customers, for example. So what, like a gaming app was developed basically by the bank to tell the customer how to make the best possible investments. So if I say I have this much of money to invest, they would tell me, fine, you have this much of money, feed in this much of money. Now this is portfolio 1, portfolio 2, make the investments, play this game and see which particular investment option will give you the best results. So before the customer actually spends the amount and decides the portfolio of investment, he or she is already playing that game to understand it, that which particular option is giving me best returns. And you are doing it in a way which the consumer is finding very, interesting to engage in. And plus, at the same time, it is also educating the customer. Similarly, if there are certain B2B deals that you want to crack, it is very much possible that you design a gaming app for them to understand what are the services that you offer. Okay, so possibilities are unlimited. Though we do say that a B2B meeting is more professional, more formal, and therefore, you are supposed to do more serious things. But with the coming of digital, a lot of things, a lot of possibilities can be explored. Some of the service industries like media and entertainment can have apps. I had given you examples of what Netflix is doing. Somebody would have told Netflix now that this interactive content is possible, that you can make 2-3 different options. So somebody would have made a presentation, let me say to Netflix, that this is what you can do. Try playing this game. If you like this, then this is one strategy that you can come up with. So that was also B2B in service industry, in media, in entertainment. So what exactly is your industry is something that probably will define what is the best digital media strategy that you can formulate. And trust me, for every service sector, how digital can be explored will be very different. I'd given you some perspectives of travel and tourism industry in the last class, about Netflix, which is about media entertainment. We talked about so many other examples. So specific to the industry, a lot of things can be designed. So in case you have your specific businesses, because I understand a lot of you are working managers and MBA students, you can actually write to me on the email address that I've given to you, or also connect with me on LinkedIn or drop a message to me and give me 1 day's time to think what things I can suggest for your particular business. I'll be happy to write back to you. I hope that helps you at least a little.
All right, thank you
Alright,
so
thank you.
much. Yeah, hopefully it can answer your questions, Pak Satrio. Okay, so as we are close to the end of the session, so I would like to say thank you so much for Professor Ruchi Gupta for your excellent and very insightful knowledge that shared with us today. Yeah, hopefully we can still have another sessions in the next semester with you in for the marketing management class. And to appreciate our speaker, so could you please, everyone, give applause to her and also give your one-word feedback comment in the chat box.
Yeah, actually, I like to see that.
Yeah,
I
please,
like to
everyone,
know how
you
much
can write
useful
one-word
this will
feedback
be for
comment.
your business. If it helps you in your business, I think I'll be really happy. So we'll be really happy to have your comments here, because feedback is important for teachers also. And I guess we can also design our lectures better if we know how the students have received it.
All right, thank you so much. And also, I would like to say thank you so much for all of the students who are actively participate in the discussions and still staying until this time. Thank you so much. Hopefully, everyone can get some knowledge about how to implement the digital marketing in our business. And yeah, I'm sorry for the inconvenience that happens during the sessions. Yeah, I hope everyone stay healthy and happy. So yeah, thank you so much for the session. I will end this session. Thank you. Have a
Thank you
nice
so much, Renee.
day.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much,
As I said,
Pratita.
just give me 1 minute. As I said, I missed Renee in the last lecture, because
Yeah.
I've been now used to seeing you. And I really thank Professor Newman for his such a humble invitation that he sends to me. And thank you so much to all the students for, I know they have listened very patiently and they have raised certain very pertinent questions. So the answers to those questions, I'm sure, is not just helpful for you, but for the entire class to understand how digital technology and digital marketing can be used for the betterment of everybody. So thank you so much, and namaskar from India, and
Thank
hope to see
you.
you in the next session. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. I
Thank you.
dismiss the class. Assalamualaikum
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Prof.
warahmatullahi
Gupta.
Thank you,
wabarakatuh.
Prof.
Terima kasih,
Namaste.
Thank you,
everyone.
Prof.
Thank you,
Thank
Prof.
you,
Prof.
Rene.
Reni.
See you.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Prof.
Prof.
Thank you. Have a good day, all of you.
Thank you, Prof. Gupta. So I will see you next semester probably, hopefully.
Yes.
Okay, so I will end this meeting. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
Thank
Prof.
you.